Morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Thanks for being here. Happy Tuesday. It's April 8th, 2025. Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: getting your hands dirty. It leads to credibility, leads to loyalty. And leaders who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty will end up getting a level of credibility that can't be bought, borrowed, or faked. When I took over as the executive director at the Texas Board of Chiropractic Examiners, one of the first things I did was I had them put my phone number into the call queue. In other words, I could hear the phone ringing at my desk and I could answer it. And it's not because I didn't trust them, but because I did, and because I wanted to lead by example. Now, when I told him to do that, my operations director, she looked at me like I was handing out speeding tickets at NASCAR or something. She was like, "Hey, what's wrong? What are we doing wrong? We don't want you to have to do this, yada, yada." And I said, nothing was wrong. You guys are amazing. You're working hard. And I told her basically two things. I said, well, I've implemented this three ring answer policy. What that meant was I wanted all calls answered by the end of that third ring. And I said, if I'm going to have that rule, everybody needs to be cognizant of the fact that our phones are ringing. Our phones are ringing because we have customers. Could be somebody that feels like they've been harmed by a chiropractor or someone faking like they're a chiropractor. Could be a chiropractor having trouble with their licensing or their continuing ed. Whatever the reason is, those calls are important. Those calls are our customers. And I don't want them to have to wait. So, three rings. Now, if I hear three rings and y'all haven't answered it, that tells me that y'all are busy. You're either on a line with another customer or you're knee deep in the middle of some licensing issue or a complaint or whatever it is. And I don't want our customers to be stuck in limbo, so I'm going to pick up the call. I said, and I'm the brand new guy. Yes, I've worked in regulatory agencies before, but I've never worked in this one. So I'm going to learn by doing. I'm going to have our FAQs pulled up. I'm going to have our rules pulled up. I'm going to have our statute pulled up. And when these calls come in, if it's not something I know, I'm going to look it up real quick. Those people don't need to know that I'm learning on the job. I'm learning by doing. And I have to apologize in advance if you hear barks. It's because my dogs are in here with me. And normally at 6:30, they're still in bed. But we're later today. So I said, I don't think I'm going to learn everything I need to know, or more importantly, what our customers are needing, just by looking at the rules and the statute and stuff. So I'm going to learn by doing. They're going to ask questions and I'm going to answer. This whole thing falls into my whole idea of leadership. Yes, if you were in a leadership role, more often than not, you're going to be the one at the wheel. You're steering, you're guiding, you're plotting the course, you're setting the long-term goals. But if your team needs you, grab an oar and row. It's not beneath you. You are not above that kind of work. If it needs to be done, there's no reason why you as the leader can't do it too. Now, is that your best purpose all the time? No. Again, more often than not, you're going to be steering. You're going to be doing all those kind of things. But, you know, grab an oar and row. Mop up. Take the call. Get a drink for somebody on your staff who's overworked. You show up early, you stay late, and it's not for show, not for praise, but because the team needs to know that you are with them, not above them. Leadership is almost like being the goalie in a hockey game. You've heard me say that before. You let the team skate, pass, score, but when that puck gets past everybody else, that's your job. You've got to stop it, because if it gets to you, chances are it's bad, right? You are the last line of defense, no excuses. That also means giving credit to everybody on your team, even if it's not credit that's due. Well, what do I mean by that? Yes, you're steering, you're setting the goal, but they're the ones that are actually doing the work. Like my Roosevelt quote the other day, they're the ones whose faces are marred by sweat and tears and mud. They're the ones that are, they're in the trenches. They are the man in the arena, metaphorically, at that point. You know, the whole time I was at the Cairo board, I honestly only think I took credit for one thing, and it was we created the nation's first staff paid chiropractic director role. No other state board in the entire country has one. Texas was the first. Do I think we'll be the last? No. I think other states are going to look at what Texas did and step up and say, yeah, we need a chiropractic director too. That was my concept, and I took credit for that one. Everything else, I gave the credit to my staff, even if it was something I did. Patrick, thank you for getting these rules out quickly. Patrick, thank you for doing this. Patrick, thank you for doing that. Wasn't me, boss. It was them. So, all of that to say this again, the title doesn't excuse you from the grind. It doesn't excuse you from the hard work. It demands that you show up to do it. That's how you're going to build your team's trust. That's how you're going to build a winning culture. It's how you as a leader are going to earn those stripes. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. I hope you were able to put it in place in your own work life. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you very much. Now, before we go, I want to let you know, later today, I am going to be a guest on a podcast. It's not going to be short form like this. Most of these Red Mike messages are anywhere from, 4 to 8 minutes, give or take, right? Most of them around 8-minute mark. Today, I'm going to be on a podcast out in Dripping Springs, Texas. It's the Mallet and Michelle podcast. I'm not sure what time it's going to be broadcast. I don't think it's live, but it is going to be recording later on this morning. So look it up, Mallet and Michelle, and I'll put a link on all of my Red Mike pages. But it's going to be interesting. Hour and a half of me. I don't know how that's going to go. But as always, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so very much. Don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon. I'll see you tomorrow.